I discovered the scanner scam, the equipment that uses your fear to drain your wallet. I'm about to expose how auto repair shops and dealerships manipulate automotive diagnostics using scanners to create fake car problems that do not exist and push inflated estimates. This equipment cost the shop $9,400 to buy, but they make over $16,000 a year using it to scare you into unnecessary repairs. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how some mechanic shops and car dealers turn the automotive scanner into the biggest fear and money-making machine in America. And the worst part, you're literally asking them to do it. Look, I spent the last 4 months investigating questionable practices at auto repair shops across 3 states. I visited 23 different establishments, pretending to be a regular customer with common car problems. And I discovered a pattern so well structured, so perfectly designed, that even honest mechanics privately admit it. The diagnostic scanner became the ultimate manipulation tool for dishonest shops. In this video, you're going to discover the exact mechanic shop tricks they use with scanners in real-world situations. I'll show you the real case of a customer who paid $1,700 for parts. His car didn't even need the complete breakdown of how this car repair scam actually works. The 5 specific phrases mechanics use to scare you when they connect the scanner, and most importantly, a detailed checklist you can use today to protect yourself from this dealership fraud. But before anything else, you need to understand one critical thing. The scanner itself isn't the villain here. The problem is who's holding it and what they choose to do with the information it provides. For those who don't know, the automotive diagnostic scanner is that electronic device the mechanic connects to your car, usually under the steering wheel near the pedals, to perform an electronic diagnostic. It reads the fault code stored in your vehicle's onboard computer. These are standardized codes like P0300, which means ignition misfire detected. P0171 indicates a lean fuel mixture problem. P0420 means catalyst efficiency below threshold. These are international standardized codes that every car manufactured after 1996 uses. And here's exactly where the car service scam begins. These diagnostic trouble codes don't tell you exactly which specific part to replace. They only indicate that something in that system is reading outside the normal parameters. But some shops transformed this gray area into a sophisticated science of scaring customers and pushing overpriced maintenance. Because when that scanner beeps and shows 7 error codes with red warning icons on the screen, the average customer panics. They don't understand what those codes mean, they just see red warnings and technical jargon. And that's the exact moment when dishonest mechanics sell you fear instead of solutions. Let me show you exactly how this mechanic ripoff happened to Mike. Mike Thompson, 34 years old, civil engineer from Phoenix, Arizona. Owner of a Honda Civic 2019 with 38,000 miles on the odometer. The car had absolutely no apparent problems. No weird noises, no performance issues, nothing. One day, the check engine light came on the dashboard. That little orange light with the stylized engine symbol. Nothing dramatic happened. The car kept running completely normally. No loss of power, no strange sounds, nothing. Mike did what most responsible car owners do. He took it to an authorized dealership, thinking that was the safest choice. After all, it's the official dealer, right? They should know the car better than anyone. The service advisor, a guy in a clean polo shirt with the dealership logo, connected the diagnostic scanner. He spent about 3 minutes staring at the screen, clicking through different menus. And then, he made that concerned face. You know the look. Eyebrows furrowed, slight headshake, that expression that says your wallet is about to hurt. Then came classic manipulation phrase number 1 that dishonest mechanics use with scanners. Look, we're getting several codes here, this is critical. If you don't replace these components now, it could cause a much bigger problem down the road, and you'll end up spending triple what it costs today. This is textbook fear-based upselling, a common tactic in auto shop fraud. The service estimate the advisor printed out and slid across the counter. Oxygen sensor replacement, $175. 4 ignition coils, $520. Premium iridium spark plugs, $150. Fuel filter replacement, $85. Ultrasonic fuel injector cleaning service, $175. Engine computer reprogramming, $240. Diagnostic fee and labor, $175. Grand total, $1,700. Mike felt his stomach drop. $1,700? For a car that was running perfectly fine? But the service advisor kept pushing. Sir, I really recommend we do this today. These codes indicate your emission system is failing. If the catalytic converter gets damaged because you waited, that's a $3,000 repair. You could also fail your emissions test and not be able to renew your registration. Mike was trapped. Afraid the car would break down on the highway, afraid of even bigger repair bills, afraid of being stranded. So he authorized the service, paid $1,700 in cash, and drove home. 3 weeks later, the exact same check engine light came on again. Same orange light. Same concern. Mike was furious. He just spent $1,700 and the problem came right back. That's when a coworker told him about my channel and he reached out to me. When I saw the invoice he paid, I immediately recognized the pattern. Classic inflated diagnosis, the kind of car repair scam that costs Americans millions of dollars every single year. Here's the secret that many auto repair shops and dealerships absolutely don't want you to know. The vast majority of diagnostic trouble codes do not require immediate part replacement. According to manufacturer service manuals and automotive technical guidelines, these codes indicate symptoms that can have multiple different causes. Think of it like this. You go to your doctor with a headache, the thermometer shows you have a fever. But that fever doesn't automatically mean you need brain surgery, right? Fever is a symptom. It could be the flu, it could be stress, it could be dehydration, it could be a dozen different things. With your car, it works exactly the same way. Take code P0171, System 2 Lean. That code can be triggered by a dirty $15 air filter. It can be caused by a loose hose clamp, which costs absolutely nothing to fix. It can be a mass airflow sensor that just needs a $7 can of MEF sensor cleaner spray. But the dishonest shop will sell you a brand new mass airflow sensor for $80 plus another $60 in labor. Do you see the difference? One costs $7 and 5 minutes. The other costs $140. Same problem, same solution, but wildly different profits for the shop. But hold on, because what I discovered when I actually tested Mike's car is far more serious than just one unnecessary part replacement. I brought Mike's Civic here to film for the channel. I connected my own professional automotive scanner, the exact same model and software that dealerships use. It's a Bosch unit that costs about $4,000. And when you see what actually appeared on that screen, you'll understand the true scale of this manipulation and why this qualifies as dealership fraud. Look at what the diagnostic scanner actually showed on Mike's Honda Civic. Code P0420. Catalyst system efficiency below threshold. This was the primary code the dealership used to justify that $1,700 parts package. But I'm going to show you something that many mechanics deliberately don't reveal to their customers. Every professional diagnostic scanner has a function called Live Data Stream. This is where you can watch all the sensors in your car functioning in real time with actual numbers. I pulled up the live data on Mike's car while the engine was running. Engine coolant temperature, 192 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfectly normal. Engine RPM, 850 revolutions per minute at idle. Normal. Upstream oxygen sensor voltage, fluctuating between 0.4 volts and 0.9 volts. That's perfect oscillation. The sensor is working exactly as designed. Short-term fuel trim plus 3%. Long-term fuel trim plus 5%. Both well within normal range. Fuel consumption rate, 0.2 gallons per hour at idle. Normal. In other words, every single sensor and component that the dealership claimed was failing and needed replacement was actually functioning completely normally. The code existed in the computer's memory, yes, but it did not indicate a confirmed real failure of any physical part. This is the core of the scanner scam. The code is real, but the interpretation is deliberately misleading to create unnecessary repairs and inflated estimates. So what actually causes code P0420 to appear? I researched the technical service bulletins for this exact year and model. Poor quality gasoline is the #1 cause. Running low-octane fuel when the car is designed for premium can trigger this code. Driving only short trips where the engine never fully warms up. The catalytic converter needs sustained heat to function properly. An overly sensitive engine computer that's programmed with very tight tolerances. Cold weather conditions affecting sensor readings. The honest solution? The dealership should have cleared the code from memory, had Mike fill up with premium fuel with a bottle of fuel system cleaner, drive the car for 100 to 150 miles, and then recheck. Total cost: $0 for clearing codes, plus maybe $35 for a tank of premium gas and fuel additive. But they chose to push $1,700 in parts instead. Why? Because the profit margin on that fear-based sale is enormous. And here's what makes this even worse. I started reaching out to other customers who had service done at this same dealership location. I posted in local Phoenix car owner groups asking if anyone had similar experiences. The responses I got back revealed this isn't just one isolated incident, this is a systematic pattern of operation. Customer 1, Sarah Martinez, owner of a Toyota Corolla 2020. She told me I paid $1,200 for an oxygen sensor and 4 ignition coils. The service advisor said my car wouldn't pass emissions without it. 1 week after the repair, the check engine light came back on with the same codes. I felt so stupid. Customer 2, James Wilson, drives a Jeep Cherokee 2021. They told me it was the EGR valve causing my rough idle. Quoted me $970 for the part and labor. I got a second opinion at an independent shop. Turned out it just needed a $50 carbon cleaning. The valve was fine. Customer 3, Rebecca Chen, owns a Nissan Altima 2018. The scanner showed 9 different codes when I brought it in for an oil change. They printed out an estimate for $2,200 in repairs. I drove straight to another mechanic. He cleared the codes, checked everything, found absolutely nothing wrong. That was 6 months ago, and I haven't had a single issue. Do you see the pattern here? Every single situation follows the exact same playbook. Connect the diagnostic scanner, display multiple codes to the customer. Make a concerned, worried facial expression. Use fear-based language about bigger problems coming. Then push a complete overpriced parts package. This is the modern version of the old mechanic shop tricks, just updated with technology. Now I'm going to teach you the 5 specific phrases that auto repair shops use when they're running this scanner manipulation on you. If you hear any of these red flag phrases, you need to stop the conversation immediately and get a second opinion before authorizing any work. Phrase number 1. Look, we're getting several critical codes here. Red flag alert. Scanners always show codes. That's what they're designed to do. But not all codes are truly critical or require immediate expensive repairs. The word critical is being used to create panic. Phrase number 2. If you don't replace this right now, it could blow your engine. Red flag alert. This is pure emotional pressure, and it's usually false. Engines don't blow up because of a single sensor code. That's not how modern cars work. If your engine was truly at risk of catastrophic failure, you'd have multiple severe symptoms, not just a light on the dashboard. Phrase number 3. This problem is really common in this year and model. Red flag alert. They're trying to normalize the excessive charge. They want you to think everyone pays this much. But here's the question you should ask. If it's so common, why is it so expensive? Shouldn't common problems have affordable solutions by now? Phrase number 4. This part is on back order, but I can reserve one for you if you approve the service today. Red flag alert. This is artificial urgency. They're trying to pressure you into making a decision right now without time to think, research, or get other opinions. Legitimate parts availability issues exist, but this is often used as a manipulation tactic. Phrase number 5. Since you're already replacing this component, you might as well replace that other part too, while we have everything apart. Red flag alert. This is upselling unnecessary additional services. They're trying to pile on extra charges while you're already committed to spending money. Each additional item pads their profit. But now comes the part that you absolutely need to see to believe. After I diagnosed Mike's car with my scanner and found that all his sensors were working normally, I did something very simple. I used the scanner to clear all the diagnostic trouble codes from the computer's memory. I reset the readiness monitors. Total time, about 2 minutes. Total cost, $0. Mike drove that Honda Civic for the next 4 months and over 5,000 miles. The check engine light never came back on, not once. The car runs perfectly, no issues whatsoever. Think about that. $1,700 in parts that were completely unnecessary. But I needed to prove this wasn't just a one-time fluke or coincidence. So I designed an experiment. I took a car that I knew was functioning perfectly with absolutely zero mechanical problems. A Chevrolet Malibu 2022 with only 11,000 miles on the odometer. This car had never had any issues. No warning lights, no performance problems, nothing. I connected my diagnostic scanner to this perfect car just to see what codes might be stored in memory, and here's what shocked me. Even this perfect car showed 3 diagnostic trouble codes. Code P0128, coolant thermostat temperature below expected. Code B000091, intermittent fault in passenger airbag sensor. Code U0073, communication bus fault detected. These codes appeared simply from normal factory programming variations, slight computer sensitivity differences, or temporary sensor readings that got logged into memory. None of them indicated actual problems. But here's where my experiment got really interesting. I took this perfectly functioning Malibu to 6 different auto repair shops around the Phoenix metropolitan area over the course of 2 weeks. At each shop, I told them the exact same story. My check engine light came on briefly yesterday, then went off. Can you scan it and tell me what's wrong? I wanted to see what each shop would recommend and how much they would try to charge me. Shop number 1, independent garage on the east side of Phoenix. The mechanic scanned it, looked at the codes, and came back with an estimate. $640. He said I needed a new thermostat housing, an airbag sensor, and a computer reprogramming. When I asked if these were urgent, he said, "You really should do this soon or you might have problems." Shop number 2, chain repair shop on the west side, estimate $800. Same components, plus they added an electronic control module software update and an extended diagnostic fee. They pushed hard for me to approve it that same day. Shop number 3, authorized Chevrolet dealership. This was the most expensive, $1,375. They wanted to replace the thermostat, the airbag sensor, reprogram 2 different computers, and they added a cabin air filter and a coolant flush. When I hesitated, the service advisor told me my factory warranty could be voided if I did not maintain the vehicle properly. Shop number 4, small independent mechanic in a residential neighborhood. This guy was different. He looked at the codes, checked the live data, and said, "Hey man, these are just soft codes. Everything's actually working fine. I can clear them for you. If any of them come back, then we investigate further. Otherwise, you're good to go." His estimate? $0. He cleared the codes and sent me on my way. Shop number 5, specialty shop focused on electronic fuel injection and diagnostics. The technician pulled up the live data, showed me the actual sensor readings, and explained, "These codes are just temporary readings the computer logged. Your engine computer is a bit sensitive from the factory on this model year. All your sensors are working correctly. I can update your software to the latest version, which usually fixes this. That's $55. That's it. Shop number 6, major national chain. Estimate, $1,070. They claimed I needed the thermostat assembly, a complete wiring harness inspection, and 2 control modules replaced. They printed out a full-color estimate with scary red warning text about emission system failure. Out of 6 professional auto repair shops, 4 of them presented me with estimates for parts and services that the vehicle manufacturer is own technical manuals don't recommend replacing unless there's a confirmed failure. The difference between the honest shop that charged $0 and the most expensive shop that wanted $1,375. One shop wanted to actually solve the problem. The other shops wanted to exploit my fear and lack of knowledge for profit. So why do some shops operate this way? Let me break down the economics. A professional diagnostic scanner costs anywhere from $3,000 for a basic model up to $16,000 for a top-end unit with full manufacturer access. That's a significant investment. The shop also has expenses: building rent, mechanic wages, insurance, taxes, utilities, equipment maintenance. On honest diagnostic and repair services, shops typically make a 20 to 30% profit margin. That's reasonable and sustainable. But when they push unnecessary repairs using fear tactics, their profit margin jumps to 300 to 600%. That's why some shops transform the diagnostic scanner from a helpful tool into a fear-generating machine. The more afraid you are, the more money you'll spend without questioning. And the scanner provides the perfect script. It beeps and shows technical codes you don't understand. You see red warning icons. The mechanic makes a serious, concerned face. You panic and authorize everything they recommend. But there is a solution to protect yourself. And this is exactly what I'm going to teach you right now. With a detailed step-by-step checklist you can use every single time someone connects a scanner to your vehicle. Step 1. Always demand to see the scanner screen yourself. Don't just accept "trust me" or "let me handle this." You have every right as the customer to see what codes are displayed. Take a photo of the screen with your phone. This documents everything. Step 2. Write down the complete diagnostic trouble code numbers. For example, P0420 or P0300. Don't accept vague generic explanations like, "There's a problem with your engine" or "your emission system is failing." You need the actual codes. Step 3. Research those codes immediately, right there in the waiting room using your smartphone. Search for the code plus your specific car year and model. You'll find owner forums, YouTube videos, and technical articles that explain what that code actually means and what the common causes are. This takes 5 minutes and can save you hundreds of dollars. Step 4. Ask the mechanic this specific question. Does this code indicate a symptom that needs investigation or a confirmed component failure? If the mechanic can't clearly explain the difference or gets defensive when you ask, that's a major red flag. Walk out. Step 5. Request that they clear the codes first and see if they return. Many codes are temporary and don't indicate permanent problems. Clearing codes costs nothing. Then drive the car for 60 to 100 miles and see if the light comes back on. If it doesn't, you just saved yourself potentially thousands of dollars in unnecessary repairs. Step 6. Insist on seeing the live data stream from the scanner. This shows all your sensors working in real time with actual numbers. If they refuse to show you this or claim their scanner doesn't have that function, that's another warning sign. Every professional scanner has live data capability. Step 7. Never authorize all recommended repairs at once. Ask them to fix one component at a time, test it, and then reevaluate. If replacing one part solves the issue, you just avoided paying for 5 other parts you didn't need. Step 8. Always get a second opinion from a different shop before approving expensive repairs. Take your car to at least one other mechanic. Honest shops will not be offended by this. In fact, they'll encourage it because they're confident in their diagnosis. Here's a bonus step that changes everything. Buy your own basic diagnostic scanner. You can get a decent Bluetooth model for $30 to $80 online. It connects to your smartphone. You can read codes yourself before you ever go to a shop. When you walk in already knowing what codes are stored, the entire dynamic of the negotiation changes. The mechanic immediately knows you're an informed customer, not a vulnerable target. Remember Mike from the beginning of this video? After I showed him everything I discovered, all the evidence of how he'd been manipulated, he drove back to that dealership. He brought the invoice, my diagnostic report, and photos of my scanner showing his sensors working properly. He demanded a full refund of $1,700. The dealership service manager refused. He claimed all the work was done according to their standard procedures and the parts were installed. Mike didn't back down. He filed a formal complaint with the Arizona Department of Consumer Affairs. He attached my independent diagnostic report, showing that the replaced components had been functioning normally. He documented that the check engine light returned just 3 weeks after their $1,700 repair. The Consumer Protection Agency contacted the dealership and opened an investigation. Suddenly, the dealership became much more cooperative. They offered Mike $1,200 in service credits for future maintenance at their shop. It wasn't the full refund he deserved, but it was a partial victory. More importantly, Mike learned the game. He'll never be manipulated like that again. Look, I created garage scams exactly for this purpose, to protect regular people from the predatory practices and deceptive tactics that parts of the automotive industry do not want you to understand. If you made it all the way to this point in the video, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. That tells YouTube's algorithm that this content is valuable and needs to be shown to more people who need this information. And subscribe to this channel, because next week I'm exposing another widespread scam, the 10,000-mile service racket. Why dealerships invent mandatory maintenance services that your car doesn't actually need. I'm going to show you internal service department documents that prove over 70% of items on those expensive service packages are not required by the manufacturer. You're paying for them anyway because you don't know any better. Drop a comment below and tell me your story. Have you been a victim of the scanner scam? Did a shop try to push unnecessary repairs on you? Share your experience. Let's expose these practices together and protect other people. And share this video with your friends and family. Every person who watches this is one less person who'll get ripped off by a dishonest shop. This is Garage Scams, the place where you learn to buy, sell, and maintain your vehicle without getting scammed or manipulated. I'll see you in the next video. And always remember this: the diagnostic scanner doesn't lie. But the person holding that scanner can manipulate the truth in a lot of different ways. We fall for the scam so you don't have to.